Everybody. This is the July 28th, 2022 session of Portland City Council. Keelan, please call the roll.
Good afternoon. Hardesty. Hardesty.
Here.
Maps.
Here.
Rubio.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Wheeler.
And now I'll turn it over to legal counsel for the rules of order and decorum.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Portland City Council. City Council is holding hybrid public meetings with limited in-person attendance in addition to electronic attendance. If you wish to testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance by visiting the council agenda on the council clerk's webpage at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. You may sign up for communications to briefly speak about any subject. You may also sign up for public testimony on resolutions, reports, or first readings of ordinances. In-person testimony may occur from one of the several locations, including City Council chambers and the Lovejoy Room in City Hall and the Portland Building. Written testimony may be submitted at cctestimony@portlandoregon.gov. Your testimony should address the matter being considered at the time. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Please disclose if you're a lobbyist. If you're representing an organization, please identify it. For testifiers joining virtually, please unmute yourself once the council clerk calls your name. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during city council meetings so everyone can feel welcome, comfortable, respected, and safe. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your time is done. Disruptive conduct, such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given that further disruption may result in a person being ejected for the remainder of the meeting. After being ejected, a person who fails to leave the meeting is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess to reconvene virtually.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to our first time certain items today. We have three matters to deal with to start with. Ordinances 666, 667, and 668. Keelan, could you please read those titles together?
Amend marijuana regulatory license procedure and requirements code to align with Oregon revised statutes, update zone changes, add electronic mail delivery, and make other minor process changes. Item 667, authorize grant agreements with 10 organizations for the social equity and educational development initiatives at the Office of Community and Civic Life for a total not to exceed $1,050,000. And item 668, authorize grant agreement with New Leaf Project to disperse funds for the Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund at the Office of Community and Civic Life to eligible cannabis businesses for a total of $456,901.
Thank you. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, President Maps. First time those words have come out of my mouth. And thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I want to say before I turn it over to our very capable panel that I have been so impressed with the caliber of both our volunteers, our fabulous program coordinator, even though I keep calling her a director, and the real leadership they have shown to make sure as we recover from COVID that we continue to remind folks that the reason why we have cannabis tax dollars to reinvest back into community is to try to make those communities whole who were actually devastated by previous public policy around marijuana. I am going to turn it over to Interim Director Michael Montoya to introduce our panel and walk us through the 3 items on this afternoon's agenda. But I just wanted to take a moment to really center what incredible work you're doing, A, and B, why we're doing this work in the first place. So thank you. Michael.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. I appreciate your support. Thank you, President Maps. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, and thank you, Commissioner Ryan. I am just here to introduce Program Manager Dashita Dawson, who can ably take us to the next item.
Awesome. If we can load our slides, we'll start our presentation. On behalf of Commissioner Hardesty, Interim Director Montoya, and the Office of Community and Civic Life, welcome to Cannabis Day at Council, or so it feels like, as we will spend about 90 minutes with you today. For the record, my name is Dashita Dawson. I'm thrilled to be in person with you and finally to meet you in person. I am the Cannabis Program Manager for the City of Portland's Cannabis Program. And Commissioners, thank you so much for your attention to multiple items this afternoon. Next slide. So we will move very quickly through our multimedia presentation. I'm not sure if we're perfect. Featuring 8 speakers, 60 slides, and 2 videos as we request your vote to pass 3 different ordinances. But before we jump into the ordinances, we thought it was a critical opportunity to present a quick update on the work in progress within the cannabis program since the January 2020 audit of the program's management fundamentals. Additionally, for each ordinance or each item, we have a Q&A period designated specifically after the presentation, just to ensure that council's questions and comments actually align to the item number presented. Next slide. So we'll jump into the cannabis program overview, and this isn't new. We've been talking about this since 2020, but our program is actually an equity-centered regulatory framework that's been operationally designed to deliver on the reparative and restorative potential of cannabis legalization. This is actually a model and a benchmark nationally for cities and states, including really large states legalizing like New York. And so we're very excited to continue to lead there. Next slide. We will take a deeper dive into the program budget and fees, but it's always important to kind of reorient and set at a high level. The cannabis program oversees and influences 2 streams of revenue for the city, the cannabis licensing revenue and the cannabis tax revenue. Next slide. And we have a small but exceptional team of leaders, collaborators, problem solvers, and above all, hard workers, many of which will be speaking during today's presentation. Next slide. So let's get into it. In 2020, there was an audit, and these are the main findings, the challenge that challenged the Civic Life Office to really address management fundamentals, strategy, and technology gaps in the cannabis program. And to arrive at the recommendations, the audit actually reviewed the first 3 years of the program, fiscal year 16-17 through fiscal year 18-19. Next slide. Now, the audit is actually one of the first things that I literally studied when I joined the Civic Life team in 2020. And it was clear that there were 3 recommendations from the audit. Number 1, develop and communicate a strategy for the cannabis program. Number 2, implement a data management system. And number 3, develop a monitoring report, or reports, plural, and/or other communication tools. Next slide. Again, this is something that council has been hearing for the last 2 years, but by the start of our fiscal year 2021, we'd taken what was a little bit of a murkier vision and established it as a clearer vision to demonstrate what equity-centered regulation looks like in cannabis. And we focused on these 3 objectives over the last 2 years, and will continue for this next fiscal year. Strengthening our core, that means our program operations, our structure, our policy, our technology. Educating and empowering to remove stigma and latent canophobia that still exists even in this mature market. And then lastly, continuing to lead the way in areas where we're just learning and innovating faster than others. Next slide. So in 2020, we established this clear vision of the equity-centered regulatory framework, but primarily we wanted to create a framework that could support and inform the cannabis equity policy reform at the state level. Creating this shown visual representation of the framework was critical in conveying the missing and/or often conflated and complicated components of the program. Most especially, we needed to clearly identify the revenue sources for the different areas of the program. Was the number 1 question I got. In short, everything in blue is funded by cannabis licensing revenue and compliance fees, including the administration of our seed initiatives. That's what makes us equity-centered. Everything in orange is funded by cannabis tax revenue and/or impacted by that tax revenue allocation. And as Akil will go into, but the vision for seed initiatives really is to increase these resources by 2025 via additional cannabis tax revenue, as we are showing improving, but also seed public public-private partnerships. And the idea is that we get to match what we've already funded with the city through private institutions or entities. In contrast, I just want to say that the original framework for the program was actually very flat. Upon analysis, often with one person holding multiple positions across different core competencies, especially when we compared ourselves to OLCC and other comparable jurisdictions. And as we'll share a lot today, technology, research, and data analysis, marketing, and communications are among the areas that we're a work in progress, but we're moving very quickly to close those gaps that really remain because of the initial years of the program's planning. Next slide. Literally the money slide, as we kind of dig into the program budget and fees. We needed to understand the money flow and the structural framework first, and then we jumped into the historic cannabis budget, focusing on annual licensing revenue and program expenses. So just to orient council, the top graph really provides year-over-year historic data for the licensing revenue since the launch of the program, highlighting 4 key metrics: revenue, expenses, the variance between revenue and expenses, and the fund ending balance, the cannabis fund ending balance, or what we call our surplus reserve. The most important takeaways is that in 2018, you're seeing a revenue decrease that was significant, and it was correlated to a decrease in the licensing fees, because clearly we were getting in more revenue than we were spending. But as the audit pointed out, we didn't have a strategic reason for that. And despite the fee reduction, as you can see, looking at the following years, the program still ran at a surplus, really due to underspending in critical areas like personnel and technology as compared to the state's office and other city jurisdictions of a similar size. I want to point out specifically that we circled in red last fiscal year 21-22 is actually the first year that the program's expenses exceed revenue on purpose due to the procurement of the data management system for our technology upgrade. And as you look at the bottom, moving into the future, our graph here highlights budget forecasts that are based on a strategic plan for the program. It includes both confirmed and proposed increased expenses year over year for personnel changes, such as reclassification of multiple positions and reorganization to support limited term positions. And the revenue here is actually very conservatively forecasted at between 1.5 to 1.6 million annually, with only a 2% growth. And by comparison, our fiscal year 21-22, we were 17% larger than the previous year. So planning at 2% is extremely conservative right now. At this time, based on where we analyzed, we don't recommend an increase in fees, but we will revisit it in fiscal year 24-25 with a more robust data from our technology solutions and an economic viability study completed for our market. Next slide. So these next couple of slides are just to show you what we worked on. Yes.
Excuse me, I believe Commissioner Hardesty has a question.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, you're on the roll. I apologize for
No worries.
interrupting the flow. Could we go back one slide, please?
Yes.
And so I was intrigued by what you said about possibly reducing the feed for licensing, right, as a way to try to make sure that we're not out of balance. I'm curious if you're doing any research on who's the primary beneficiary of those licensees that the city of Portland issues. What's the demographic breakdown of the license holders? And are we, in fact, doing what we say we're going to do, which is undoing the harm that previous cannabis practices have done?
That's a great question. So we considered the license fees reduction in 2018. It didn't change that we were still making more revenue than our expenses because we didn't have enough personnel, we didn't have enough technology. The licensing fees are meant for us to create a program where we service the businesses. To your point, the city of Portland still has a long way to go in terms of diversity in the business ownership. That's what I meant we were creating a framework to support at the state level. We've been a part of work groups at the state level level, bringing forth state legislation so that we can create a pathway for equity designated licensing. But the good news is we get to actually get our framework ready for it, because when it does come down the pipe from OLCC, I would say the previous flat framework would not have supported what that new revenue and or operations requirement would be. And now that we have more, I think we're better prepared. But do we still have a long way to go? Yes. Where we're really demonstrating our equity-centered focus is when we take the cannabis tax revenue and we're very, very intentional about it. But that's only one component. And I am constantly saying that we have to look at all of it. So we continue to push at the state level and include that as part of our recommendation for the city's legislative agenda.
Thank you.
Next slide, okay. So this slide really just highlights, again, some of the critical P4 changes that we've already executed within the program just to support the strategy and the workload. I mean, the Supervisor 1 was ahead for the program as compared to many jurisdictions of actually smaller size, less licenses, where it's a deputy director or higher level. It also aligned with the workload, right, and what actually was being done. And we're showing here additional positions that are needed to continue to support this new framework that we've built out since 2020. Next slide. This is a work in progress, of course, and so the personnel expansion plan to support the cannabis framework still has a lot of gaps to fill. Our current staff of 7 should actually be a staff of 12 to 14. In red, we highlight current vacant, meaning they're already being established in our budget, and proposed positions. And these roles represent what our cannabis staff should look like if we're in line with the expected roles in a regulatory office of this type and size. Again, comparing to the state's office as well as other local jurisdictions like Denver and LA. Next slide. So strengthening our core has also meant bolstering the cannabis policy oversight team's influence at the city, state, and national level. Let's take a moment to check out our first video highlighting CPOT's recent press conference.
I am so excited to be here today to promote the great work of the cannabis program, the Cannabis Policy Oversight Team, and everyone at Civic Life. We are making sure that cannabis tax dollars are not going towards law enforcement and further criminalization efforts, but towards restorative justice practices. We are not there yet, but if we follow the lead of our local experts, if we put equity at the forefront of our policy decisions, we can get there together.
My name is Deshita Dawson, and I am the Cannabis Program Manager. Well, we're the first city to actually take our cannabis tax revenue, our local cannabis tax revenue, and actually reinvest it into the communities. That was really important because the truth of the matter is that the racially biased criminalization of cannabis has impacted those communities. And so now that we have this really new revenue that's growing, it would make sense that we would lift those communities up. We're seeing a lot more programs that are mirroring our equity initiatives. So we have our social equity and educational development, or SEED initiatives. And that has been our shining star right now, right? It's the ability to give grants to community-based organizations and entities that are doing the work for those communities most harmed.
I'm pleased to share an overview of CPOT's top recommendations as outlined in the 2021 Cannabis Policy Report. This year's report examines and provides recommendations across 4 areas of equity: social, economic, environmental, and human.
The Cannabis Policy Oversight Team is a perfect example of what can happen when Portlanders partner with their government. all of the policy recommendations that they are putting forward this year, whether it's the budget recommendations for next year or whether it's the decriminalization, the expungement, all of them wouldn't happen without the brilliance and the talent and the time of our Portlanders who serve on the Cannabis Policy Oversight Team.
So CPOT meets in a public meeting on a semi-monthly basis on Thursdays at 6 p.m. We encourage the public to come to those meetings. It stimulates the conversation for the Cannabis Policy Oversight Team. It stimulates their work. I would also say, in addition to recruiting for CPOT members, we have 3 subcommittees as well that we are always looking to extend into the community. This is the first year that the subcommittees were really active, and you can tell in the report. It is representative of a very diverse group of community members coming together to ensure that the cannabis program is successful. Awesome. So if we return to our current slide and move on to the next slide, what I'll say is that CPOT has evolved since its inception, and it's important to acknowledge the past leaders that have contributed to the growth over the last few years: Dr. Rachel Knox, Jesse Horton, Laura Vega, Dr. Nicole Bowles, Madeline Martinez, Tim Zimmerman, Stephanie Cox, John Monteleone, and last but not least, immediate past chair Ala Chosa, who is still a member. The 22-23 CPOT just kicked off, and so this list is our new CPOT with a couple of the pictures shown there, and Travis Mara is our chair. Right now, CPOT has been, again, really active in expanding to get an extension of reach into the communities and get more insights for the oversight team. Next slide. What I'll do right now, in the interest of time, is just give a very quick overview of the 21 report. You have it as a reference for future review. CPOT welcomes the opportunity to meet with commissioners and staff one-on-one, just to follow up on the presentation. And actually, even tonight, we have our public CPOT session at 6 p.m., so it's a long day for us here at Cannabis. But these are the key findings at a high level. CPOT needs more data to make better recommendations. Addressing harm from racial disparities and historic inequalities requires ongoing commitment and work. And then that cannabis businesses are still under-resourced here in the city of Portland. Next slide. As Travis pointed out, this year's report actually leverages a rubric called the Chem Pillars of Health Equity, whereby the pillars of social, economic, environmental, and human equity are all critical inputs to achieving total health equity. Government should be accountable to all pillars as it considers policy development and resource allocation. But in an equity-centered cannabis regulatory office specifically, this is a very helpful rubric for repairing the social, economic, environmental, and human injuries that have resulted from past inequitable and unjust government policies. And that was the approach in which CPOT took in taking on the recommendations. Next slide. The recommendations can also be separated into 2 different groups based on the revenue source and the proposed fiscal year. I just want to highlight here that the competency pilot, which is meant to be citywide, multi-bureau, as well as a long overdue economic viability research study, has already been allocated funding in our approved 22-23 cannabis budget. So we're moving forward with those recommendations, understanding that we need that to continue our strategic growth. And then the addition of 2 limited term positions are recommended to execute the long-term strategy of the program. Next slide. From the tax revenue side, I'll be brief because we know tax revenue has slowed in growth, right? We're right now in a little bit of a challenge as we think about the industry. But as funding becomes available, CPOT would like for the council to at least consider these 3 recommendations that would require between $250K to $1.75 million in future funding, either through cannabis tax revenue or other resources. The one noteworthy recommendation is the Cannabis Research Fund. And the reason why it's noteworthy is because at the federal government level, they've passed multiple cannabis research bills that are expected to open up funding for existing local government research programs. So that's the type of stuff that the city of Portland should be leading on so that we can be the first movers in federal funding for cannabis research. Next slide. So last year, we recruited and hired the Bureau's first ever technology lead, Michelle Hansberry. She's been leading the charge on implementing the cannabis program's technology upgrade and is here to share an update on our work in progress. I'll pass the mic to Michelle, who is digital.
Thank you, Dashida. For the record, my name is Michelle Hansberry, and I'm the technology lead for the cannabis program. Today, I'm going to be providing an update on our technology upgrade. So the need for a data management system was initially identified by the program team about 5 years ago, but gained significant traction after the 2020 audit, which, as previously mentioned, identified this need as a primary finding. So after careful evaluation of many products, Excella was chosen based on price point, functionality, and the ability to serve as both a licensing solution and a case management solution. During fiscal year 2020 to 21, we received approval to use $417,000 of the cannabis program surplus reserve to procure a data management tool necessary for the technology upgrade. And after extensive reviews by city stakeholders and a comprehensive procurement process, the project officially kicked off last year in August 2021, and we went live this year in April 2022. Next slide, please. So we've named this system the Civic Portal, and it's a cloud-based licensing and case management solution. We customized a module specifically to meet cannabis needs, and the system is also capable of supporting the needs of multiple programs in our bureau. The cannabis program is currently managing the regulatory compliance of 485 active and pending licenses, each at different points in the city code-driven complex life cycle of license applications and renewals. The cannabis module of the Civic Portal tracks license details such as the status and expiration date, contacts and addresses, inspections, fees and payments, uploaded documents, and details about cannabis-specific programs a licensee may be enrolled in. Each year, each of our 485 licensees and applicants receive between 8 and 12 email notifications at standard checkpoints. That's over 4,000 custom notifications curated by our team each year. Almost all of these are now automated for each license and sent out on an automatic schedule. And this reduces errors and prevents notifications from being missed. Next slide, please. So another exciting feature is that the license addresses in the Civic Portal are synced with the Portland Address Database, also known as the PAD. And this is an important connection because it positions us well for future geospatial work, where other applications or data sets that are also using the PAD can be layered with ours. The public-facing side of the Civic Portal is a very user-friendly dashboard that allows licensees to log in to their account, view their licenses, and see what they've submitted and take action when needed, including making online payments, which was an exciting addition to the system and allows for a lot greater accessibility. The transparency that the Civic Portal provides to our licensees has been significantly improved. Now, on the back office side of the system, staff can see exactly what's needed for each license at any given time, and the system workflow prompts staff on next steps so that nothing slips through the cracks. The team can access all of the license info and run accurate real-time reports. And there's even a handy mobile app for our inspectors out in the field. Next slide, please. So this has been a very successful system build, and much of that success is attributed to the fantastic support and collaboration we received from our internal partners who worked with us to keep our process functioning smoothly and ensure security protocols are maintained. And also internal support and vendors who assisted us with varying needs during implementation, and were all very responsive and accommodating during implementation and beyond. One noteworthy collaboration was with Corporate GIS, who did a fantastic job helping us upgrade the technology powering the public-facing map for cannabis retail locations. Corporate GIS manages a tool that allows the Civic Portal to connect with the PAD and also the public-facing website. And this web page allows transparency between the city and the public on where new retail businesses can be approved. Corporate GIS helped us connect a real-time feed to the license data in the Civic Portal. We appreciate all the support and collaboration we received from everyone on this implementation. We are very happy with what we're seeing 3 months in, and we look forward to sharing more updates in the future. And with that, I will pass the mic back to Dashida.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Next slide. And as I've mentioned, we are a very collaborative team. We actually have done a lot of collaboration all across the board and then more extensively with our Bureau's communication team to enhance and expand the program's annual reporting, to revamp the program web pages, create useful online and printed communication tools, and to ramp up outreach to internal and external stakeholders via social media, email marketing, and events, largely digital events, and now in person. Next slide. We are super excited to announce the first Cannabis Empowerment Day. It's an in-person community event taking place at Chapman Square, 2 to 6 p.m. on Friday, August 12th. The event really celebrates the positive impact of the cannabis industry, showcasing licensed cannabis businesses, grant recipients, the long-term and recently made advocacy organizations, ancillary companies, local officials, and more. We invite all Portlanders to attend and participate. Next slide. Now, as we consider educating and empowering the Portland community to support the cannabis industry, the Social Equity and Educational Development, or SEED initiatives, is the primary vehicle for the work in the cannabis program. And after a national search, we are excited that we were able to recruit and hire Akil Patterson. He is our new SEED initiatives coordinator, and I welcome him to the floor to present the SEED ordinance number 667 to council.
Thank you, Tashida. And for the record, one more time, my name is Akil Patterson, and I serve as the Social Equity Educational Development Coordinator. That is probably the last time I will say all those words combined together, and we will effectively be known as SEED throughout this. There will be a difference between SEED and SEED Grant Fund, though, when I am talking. Today, on behalf of the Cannabis Program and the SEED Initiative, I present to you initiative number 667. This is the first you'll hear from someone like me, obviously, because this is the first time this position has been filled since the program has been in operation, dating back to around 2017. During this presentation, next slide, please.
Actually, the next two slides.
Next slide. Oh, next slide, please. All right, wonderful. During this presentation, we will go through a short program history, the applicant metrics, the selection process, the proposed grant fund winners, and the fiscal year 2022 through 2023 ordinance recap. At the end of the presentation, we will have time for questions and comments from anyone here on the panel. Next slide, please. In 2016, the people of Oregon voted to give this office the authority to help support and uplift communities that have been most impacted by the 80 years of cannabis prohibition. The Office of Civic Life has taken those steps to create a restorative justice grant fund program, hire me, most importantly, and create long-range objectives to ensure that the funding for this program is not a flash in the pan. Thanks in part to the prior audit, in the city's leadership, we are in that direction. As part of the overall cannabis program strategic plan previously mentioned in this presentation, these are our current objectives for social equity and educational development initiative programs. As you will see, that we want to help grow the grant fund, educate the community, and provide technical assistance that would strengthen those grant winners' ability to implement their programs. The SEED Initiatives program is far bigger than our grant fund. We would have projects that would help uplift the community's ability to engage with our offices, and being sure that we are using the internal and external stakeholders through monitoring and measuring and reporting how this tax cannabis revenue is used. Next slide, please. Are we on the right one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Our total funding is ongoing at $1 million thanks to this council. Our current grant cycle represents the 5th cycle overall for this grant fund. The technical assistance program, we are in the process of developing this, and we do believe that by 2023 we will have this fully established. Our partnership opportunities are a great way for us to grow this initiative and to ensure that this program is long-lasting. We plan to strengthen our public-private partnerships. These public-private partnerships will help support reporting and our ability to increase funding mechanisms so that more communities can be supported. We are currently having these conversations with partners such as Reimagine Oregon and Prosper Portland. The SEED Initiative report, which I will be back in next year in 2023. Our annual report will serve as our method to help us continue to improve our ability to be a guiding light for the social equity and restorative justice movement nationally. And I look forward again to presenting that here next year in front of you all. Next slide, please. So, the grant fund, the SEED Grant Fund aims to aid, strengthen, and serve restorative justice, community reinvestment, and health and wealth creation for Black, Indigenous, and communities of color, which have been disproportionately impacted by the over 80 years of cannabis prohibition. These areas of focus for the grant fund will focus on education, entrepreneurship and economic development, and social justice. Next slide, please. So, our SEED grant objectives, do they measure up? Our objectives are to uniquely serve BIPOC communities in our 3 core areas, which were previously stated. We also, for our second objective, it was to increase the number of BIPOC-led and women-led small businesses and projects funded by the SEED program. All this had also been pointed out in previous audits. But what you'll notice here is that from 2018, we had 9 applicants. By 2021, we had over 123 applicants. When we increased the number of applicants, we also saw a direct correlation in the increase in both BIPOC-led and women-led recipients receiving grant funds over that time period. Next slide, please. So, our applicant demographics for the 2022 process. Again, all of this was self-identified, and so we go off of the organization's recommendations. So we had over 68% that self-identified as women-led. That means a majority of the organization was led by women. You've got the overall number of BIPOC communities that are sending in applications, in which you'll again see here. And then for our priority areas, because of diversity of thought and communities, we saw an increase in people that have intersectionalities with their projects. So they're covering economics, education, and social justice, all within inside of their own operations. Next slide, please. The selection process sometimes can be long, but our SEED selection process is an evolving process, and one in which we are currently 100% doing this manually. It means an email comes in, a staff member then has to throw that into the system and then make sure that it's done properly. We have to review every email, approve the applications, because sometimes we do get multiple from the same organization. We then have to correct directly, we have to contact, but we do something that's different. Even if someone doesn't submit their full application properly, we actually reach out to them. We physically pick up the phone and we call to make sure that their application was submitted the way they wanted to, or if they didn't want to submit it. We started the first round in October of 2021, and we had 90 first round applicants. Again, some had submitted more than that, but we pared it down to 90. From those 90 first round applicants, by the end of December, we had to pause because we had to hire me, of course. And once I was on, we dived right back into all the applicants. Literally the day we were right back into getting all the applicants sorted. We were able to divide the applicants into 3 groups. Each group was then independently scored by 3 separate committee members. So of the 3 groups, each committee member was scoring 30 applications on their own outside of what is being, outside of anyone else. So we don't have any control, they independently score them. Our team then averaged all the scores, and only those scores that made around the 12-point mark were able to move on to the second round. And from that second round, we then had the 33 finalists. We had 27 complete the application, and those 27 were then scored independently, without any say from us. We then brought them all together for a deliberation where we talked specifically about all 33 applicants, and from there, the recommendations were then forwarded on to you. Next slide, please. Here are our recommendations. Constructing Hope, Elevate Oregon, Portland Playhouse, the Inside Alliance, Growing Gardens, Division Midway Alliance, the Oregon Expungement Relief Project, the Black United Fund of Oregon, Self-Enhancement Incorporated, and Oregon Native American Council. These groups represent 30% of gender diversity for women being owned and majority-led. We did see, again, an increase in BIPOC-led organizations. And because of the intersectionality of these programs, you have multiple different points being hit from education, economic development, and social justice. But I do want to highlight 3 organizations that have been previous grant award winners and that are grant awarders this year. Constructing Hope, Elevate Oregon, and the Oregon Expungement Relief Project are representative of exactly of how this program should be working. That they applied for low-level grants, and they have matriculated through the process over a period of time. And that Constructing Hope is now in a position, and so is Elevate Oregon, to better serve their communities along with Oregon Expungement Relief Project. Next slide, please. So just a quick recap of our seed ordinance. Are requesting $1,050,000 for ongoing seed initiatives for that fiscal year 2022 through 2023, which you all have previously approved through your budget hearings. We have 10 proposed grant agreements in the areas of education, economic development, and social justice. We are asking for us to support communities impacted by this prohibition of cannabis in those 3 priority areas. And ultimately, we're asking for the emergency ordinance because these groups that are currently running programs need the funds immediately. I thank you, and I yield for any questions that you may all have. Next slide. Next slide.
Colleagues, any questions now, or do we want to go on to the last ordinance and do our questions at the end? So I think we'll go hear the presentation on the on 6.6.
On the other items, 666 and
Or
667?
668? Or so we've,
668, yep. So this is 667,
Right.
just to be clear. All righty,
all right, carry on.
perfect. All right, so next slide. At this time, we are going to move into 2 different item numbers, 666 and 668, and under the supervisory leadership of Christina Corse, our licensing and compliance team will present these 2 final items, and they are joining us digitally.
Good afternoon, Commissioners of Council. My name is Christina Corsi, and I'm the Licensing, Compliance, and Policy Supervisor for the Office of Community Civic Life Cannabis Program. We are here today. I'm here today with our lead compliance specialist, Nathaniel Warner, to present item number 666 on Portland City Code 14B.130.
Thank you, Christina. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Again, my name is Nathaniel Warner. I'm the lead compliance specialist in the cannabis program, and we'll be presenting on requested amendments to Portland City Code 14B.130. Portland City Code 14B.130 grants authority under Oregon statutes as well as an exercise of the city charter home rule authority to regulate business operations in producing, processing, selling, or transferring marijuana and marijuana items within the city. Next slide, please. The topics I'll be presenting today are as follows. I'll do a brief history of the cannabis program's code history, past amendments to Chapter 14, the objectives to the cannabis program's current requested code amendments, and the current requested code amendments to Chapter 14. Next slide, please. On this slide is a brief history of the implementation of Portland City Code. In November 2014, Oregon voters approved Measure 91. This measure allowed local governments the ability to regulate time, place, and manner of businesses to grow, process, sell, transfer marijuana and marijuana items. Also at this time, Portland City Council initiated the Portland Cannabis Program in the Office of Community and Civic Life. On September 30th of 2015, Council adopted Ordinance 187359. This added license procedures and requirements for cannabis businesses to Chapter 14. Next slide, please. Through the brief history of the City of Portland's cannabis program, there have been several amendments to Chapter 14. I won't be going over each date, just a few that are significant to the forward-thinking progress the cannabis program has had through the years. As I stated before, Chapter 14 was adopted in September of 2015. Since that time, there have been several amendments to the code as regulations progressed. I'd like to highlight two of those amendments. In December of 2016, there was a removal of permitting requirements for all but producers and processors. These were the license types that carried the greatest level of risk to the community. The Bureau of Development Services experienced a rush of applicants requesting tenant improvements to meet marijuana licensing requirements. This created a large bottleneck and slowed licensing processing times. To relieve this bottleneck and increase license processing times, permitting requirements were softened for those that carry the lowest level of risk, which included retailers and wholesalers. Included in this ordinance was the addition of micro wholesalers, micro producers, and retail courier licenses. Adding these license types lowered the barrier of entry to those players wishing to enter the market without a bunch of capital. And then jumping forward to September of 2018, license fees were lowered as a part of the license fee study that was conducted and to minimize the surplus of the cost recovery program. The social equity program was created, which provided license fee reductions to qualifying businesses, as well as the creation of the deferred payment program. The deferred payment program was developed to allow for qualifying businesses to defer payments for a period of 6 months to avoid financial hardship from having to pay for both a city and state license fees at the same time. Next slide, please. Outlined on this slide are the cannabis program's intentions of past code amendments. The amendments were made to adapt and grow along with the legalized and regulated cannabis landscape. I'm not going to go into detail about each point, but these changes could not have happened without City Council support. Next slide, please. The objectives for the current amendments are to align Chapter 14 with our current processes, as well as to continue to update Chapter 14 with the cannabis industry's maturing and growth. Next slide, please. My final slide is a summary of the requested amendments that I would like to go over and explain the intention of the amendments. There are several minor technical fixes that are light housekeeping measures, including updating Oregon revised statute numbers to reflect more accurately what they are now. There were 7 updates to be exact. Some of those are duplicate numbers that are referenced in Portland City Code. Moving on to the second point, the cannabis program is requesting to add in language to code around email communication. Through the pandemic, our communication with businesses as well as the community happened primarily through email. In addition to the implementation of the cannabis program's new civic portal, which has automated communication features, moving forward, electronic delivery will continue to be our primary method of communication. The next point is regarding the city's comprehensive zone change from June 2018. The council amended titles 18 and 32 to change the multi-dwelling zone names referenced in these titles to reflect the new Title 33 zone names. However, it appears that the city inadvertently missed the Title 14 multi-dwelling zone name reference. Without this correction, it has potentially opened the city to legal liability, which would have allowed for marijuana businesses within residential neighborhoods, which is not currently allowed had it been challenged. The fourth point in the slide is updating the social equity program's name to the license fee reduction program. There are 2 reasons for this amendment. First, we want to eliminate confusion with the social equity and educational development grant program. Second, this name is better reflected in what it truly does, and that is lower license fees for eligible cannabis business owners. Updating the name would better reflect what it truly accomplishes. The Fifth Amendment request is removing in consultation with the chief of police for approvals and denials. When Chapter 14 was being developed, it was mirrored from practices and processes from Civic Life's liquor licensing program. As regulatory processes were formed at the state and city level, this was not common practice. Through the program history, the approval and denial process is never included in consulting with the chief of police. And the final amendment is regarding notification requirements for new retail locations. Prior practices included notifications being sent out to bureau partners, including police, fire, and BDS, as well as notification to neighborhood associations to inform of a new retail location opening. Effective January 1st, 2022, the Oregon legislature passed HB 4016, which placed a moratorium on the issuance of new cannabis licenses until March 31st, 2024. Therefore, no notifications will need to be sent out. After a thorough review of Title 3.96, the removal of such notifications from this chapter will not have any effect on the agreement between Civic Life and the neighborhood associations as described in Title 3.96. Upon recommencing of processing new license types after 2024, We believe the impact of this removal to be minimal, as there are 1,000-foot buffers between retailers in Portland. There's already a high level of saturation within Portland city limits. Therefore, unless these buffers are lifted, space is limited, and we likely will not see many new retail locations outside of changes of ownership. Next slide, please. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for your time.
Colleagues, any questions, comments? We have no questions or comments on that portion of the presentation.
Okay, so we'll go back to Christina for our next item.
Thank you, Deshia. Again, good afternoon. My name is Christina Corsi, and I'm the Licensing Compliance and Policy Supervisor. I'm here to present to you today on item number 668 for the Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund, and we have a video we'd like to play for you right now.
My name is Christina Corsi, and I'm the Licensing, Compliance, and Policy Supervisor for the Cannabis Program out of the Office of Community and Civic Life. I am also the Program Manager for the Grants Program for the Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund, better known as SURF. This idea was actually derived from the Cannabis Policy Oversight Team, better known as CPOT, and this was in response to increased crime, vandalism, wildfires. For production being open during COVID, they were left vulnerable. So in order for the city to be able to provide these emergency funds to our struggling cannabis businesses is super important.
The SURF grant funds really were game-changing for a number of our businesses, and there were many businesses who had suffered a lot of break-ins, unfortunately. These are things that these SURF funds allowed them to fix. We've also seen people, though, use these funds to hire. They've been able to sustain their workforce or bring on other people, employ them, and that's, I think, really important to how this money does more good than maybe you might realize on the surface.
Oh, definitely. For us, it kept us open. Without it this year, bank account could be negative on a day, you know what I mean? So we're running paycheck to paycheck, no employees. Because of the fund, I'm actually able to get one employee and get back on payroll. Yeah, so it meant pretty much everything.
The cannabis space really was left out of the support that more traditional businesses received from the federal government and state governments. And so you had these cannabis businesses who were under the same amount of stress as other businesses during the pandemic. When the city approached us to ask if we would help on this piece, giving out grant money, we were totally honored to do so.
So our business was cut in half, or cut by about 2/3. So we really only had one leg to stand on. We get rejected from a lot of cannabis grants, and we get rejected from non-cannabis grants. So this is the first kind of grant that actually made space for ancillary and for cannabis companies. These types of grants, like I said, it just helps alleviate some of the pressure as an employer so that we can really focus on our team and on our community. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here, is for our community. And when the city is able to support us and support that in a very meaningful way, it allows us to be able to continue to give back to this environment that we're really trying to create here in Portland.
I'd been out of work for the entirety of January due to catching COVID. I missed an entire month of income, and I was just, that bottomed me out. It really helped me to not only even out some of my finances, but I had also had to borrow certain amounts from some friends and family to make ends meet for that month, and it allowed me to pay them back a lot quicker. I feel like having those funds specifically designated by the city for these marginalized communities, specifically within the cannabis industry, it was so incredibly helpful and truly a lifesaver for myself and many individuals.
$500,000 was requested from 140 workers, and I'm very proud to say our organization funded the most impacted communities first. So 80% of our funds went to Black and Brown individuals and those with dependents. Of that, our organization had $120,000 to disperse, and so we were able to provide that to 111 workers.
I mean, we really are enormously grateful to the city for having repurposed some of the cannabis tax funds in this way, because I genuinely believe if we hadn't gotten that grant, we'd have had to shut down.
Yes, I would say it's working. We definitely need more funds. We were provided $1.33 million for the fiscal year 21-22, and it did help out quite a few businesses, over 50 businesses and over 50 individuals.
The SURF funds are a recognition that you've got to make an investment to get back the kind of vision of Portland. So I appreciate the investment that they're making here, and I think it's a really important use of cannabis taxes.
Back to
Thank you.
Christina.
Next slide, please.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Yes.
Thank you, President Mapps. Got to get used to getting that to roll off my tongue, you know? I love it when it rotates. We got to all get used to something different. I wanted to take a moment and ask the question about what we know is that during COVID, cannabis buildings were being broken into, robbed at high rates. People were not feeling safe working at cannabis businesses. And I know that Dashida, you did a fabulous job of trying to raise the issue and the alarm for us to make those investments. So here we are about a year later. How are they? What's happening today?
Well, I definitely think the video conveyed the importance of that investment and how critical it was. I'm going to pass the mic to Christina because in her presentation, she shares more detail about what's going on for cannabis businesses right now. We're in a critical state, and I know we're seeing it in media. So, Christina, I'll pass the mic to you to jump in here.
Thank you. Yes, so I will just continue with the presentation, and hopefully this presentation answers your questions, Commissioner Hardesty. And if it doesn't, I'd be more than happy to answer it at the end. In fiscal year 21-22, SURF was allocated $1.33 million in cannabis tax revenue toward recovery efforts for Portland's cannabis industry and its workers due to the unprecedented challenges they endured throughout 2020 and 2021. SURF provides grants of up to $25,000 for small licensed cannabis businesses within Portland city limits and up to $5,000 to cannabis industry workers economically impacted from COVID-19, vandalism, robberies, wildfire, and the residual effects of illness, trauma, and grief suffered from such impacts. Sadly, the cannabis industry is still struggling due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and victimization from continual increased criminal activity seen and experienced widely across Portland. Next slide, please. Throughout this presentation, I will cover the history and objectives of SURF. I will discuss the application process and provide demographics from the first round of funding. You will hear the ongoing challenges the cannabis industry continues to face, and we will hear from some of our SURF community partners on their experiences as those who worked directly with cannabis business owners and its workers on disbursement of funds. Next slide, please. In March of 2020, Oregon Governor Kate Brown declared a state of emergency due to concerns around the COVID-19 pandemic and issued an executive stay-at-home order. This order closed schools and many businesses that were considered non-essential. Cannabis businesses were deemed essential and were fortunately able to continue operating, although unfortunately, open for business made the cannabis industry and its employees vulnerable to contracting coronavirus. Employees with small children being forced out of the workforce or needing to take a reduction in hours in order to stay home with their children due to a lack of childcare and the need for homeschooling. These cash-based businesses were also vulnerable to what would become a 115% increase in violent crime reported from the previous year and vandalism due to the civil unrest seen around the city and country. As time progressed, the distress felt by the cannabis industry only worsened. In early September 2020, rapid expansion of multiple wildfires ran rampant across the state, making the Oregon 2020 wildfire season one of the most destructive on record. Oregon wildfires have caused unprecedented devastation to the entire cannabis industry supply chain, with significant uncertainty surrounding future outcomes and long-term sustainability. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we go back to the last one? Thank you. On December 1st, 2021, I presented before this council on the fiscal year 21-22 SURF ordinance, which was widely accepted. We received a historic 5-0 vote from council, which allowed Portland to become the first government jurisdiction in the country to provide emergency relief to cannabis businesses and workers. These funds were prioritized for historically disadvantaged populations, which includes minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses, and those businesses qualifying as a small business. I again presented before this council during the March 2022 Economic Recovery and Stabilization Work Session, where the cannabis program requested an additional $500,000 in cannabis tax revenue. Council approved an allocation of $456,901 in the fiscal year 22-23 budget. This funding includes $305,750 of one-time allocation from the cannabis tax revenue and $151,151 of one-time general fund resources. Next slide, please. As part of the historic 5-0 vote, council approved the proposed execution plan, including non-competitive umbrella grant agreements with 3 uniquely positioned organizations to manage applications and disperse funds. Due to the emergency nature of funds, we proposed these non-competitive grants to organizations with proven historical experience with, knowledge of, and direct access to the very specific and unique target population. New Projects COVID-19 Relief Program is the precedent for SURF's budget approval. They were responsible for $170,000 of emergency relief funding received by 19 cannabis businesses in 2020. To date, they have dispersed over $1.5 million in grant support to cannabis businesses. Under an innovative incubation program, New Project worked closely with Cannabis Workers Coalition to extend support specifically to individuals working in the cannabis industry. The initiative recruits, supports, and incubates cohorts of women-owned cannabis businesses and is responsible for developing a very comprehensive white paper on cannabis and social equity, which was published in May 2021. Oregon Cannabis Association testified with CPA in November 2020 in front of council regarding the need for these emergency funding. They also represent the largest trade association for licensed cannabis entities in the state, giving them significant access to the target recipients of SURF. Next slide, please. SURF applications opened up on February 1st, 2022, and due to an overwhelming demand, application acceptance was paused after only 23 days. The amount of total funds available after deducting the administrative overhead cost was approximately $1.1 million. The total amount of funds requested was approximately $2.1 million. I would like to highlight again that the level of need requested was over $2 million in as little as 23 days. There were and are still many businesses in emergency need that were unable to receive funding within the first round. However, with the amount of funding available and with the number of applications submitted, there was a 91% funding rate for cannabis workers and 70% funding rate for businesses. Next slide, please. 96% of these applications met the SURF priority designation of a disadvantaged business, which again is minority, women, veteran-owned, or qualifying as a small business. 34% of the applications met New Project's priority designation of Black, Latino, or Indigenous-owned businesses. These communities are known to have been most disproportionately harmed by cannabis criminalization. 11% of these businesses identified as having prior cannabis convictions. Next slide, please. As of July 2022, the cannabis industry is still reeling in hardship and continued increased criminal activity. Data obtained by OLCC indicates 271 Portland cannabis businesses reported theft of product and or cash between February 2020 and July 2022. Some of these businesses being victimized more than once. These thefts range from looting to armed robbery, some resulting in bodily injury, sexual assault, and even homicide. There was a 115% increase, as I stated before, in violent crime from 2019 to 2020. As indicated on this chart, you can clearly see theft rates have more than doubled in 2022 from the rates shown in 2021, and they are seemingly becoming more and more violent. The funds provided to eligible cannabis businesses can be used for a variety of different reasons, including increased security measures needed to maintain a safe working environment. This does not include armed security guards or purchase of firearms or other weapons, though. The funding provided in the fiscal year 21-22 provided emergency relief to 53 out of 389 licensed businesses within Portland. This additional $456,901 will potentially help an additional 22 businesses. The success and safety of Portland's cannabis industry is a top priority. Therefore, the Cannabis Policy Oversight Team is advocating for policy changes that will improve safety. Next slide, please. Further data obtained from OLCC indicates a plummet in sales for Multnomah County in recent months. It's also statewide. This data is for Multnomah County specifically. Coupled with the economic ramifications from increased crime, increased overhead with the cost of doing business, including rent hikes, wage increases, general inflation costs, and the inability to deduct the usual business taxes, a perfect storm is being generated and is threatening the livelihood and success of Portland's small businesses, many of which are choosing to sell or are temporarily closing their doors to decrease continual expenses from repeated vandalism and robberies. Next slide, please. Next, we will hear testimony from community organizations Civic Life partner with to manage SURF applications and disperse funds to those most in need. I would like to introduce CEO and founder of Food Project, Jeanette Ward-Horton.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you, Council. It's great to be with you today, even if it's just on video. I wanted to just share quickly about us and then talk a moment about these funds and what they meant. So New Project has funded $2 million to cannabis businesses owned by women and minorities since 2018. And we distributed the bulk of SURF funds in 2022 to 25 businesses and 120 workers. In 2021, New Project distributed relief funds to cannabis businesses at the request of this council, who had the foresight to see the need for these funds early on. I applaud your foresight. Christina shared the profitability hurdles of high operating costs and even higher taxes faced by cannabis businesses. An economic nuclear bomb like COVID was just too hot to handle, and I've seen some beloved neighborhood businesses close their doors, as I'm sure you have. Those businesses had federal and state relief dollars available to them. Cannabis businesses did not for COVID, not for wildfires. And further, they are the target of robberies more so than other businesses because of cash, a problem they would love to see solved with banking, but the feds aren't fixing it. Local municipalities have legalized cannabis, and they need to take care of their cannabis businesses as a parity issue. The Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund grant is a requirement for parity. SURF is also good economics for a city. One, SURF rewards cannabis businesses for choosing to locate their licensed business in the city of Portland with relief funds when times are tough. Two, SURF brings the only relief funds to sustain local small cannabis businesses, which are employing people locally and bringing healthy tax revenue to the city. And then three, SURF focuses dollars on the businesses that benefit most. I applaud the city for focusing limited SURF funds on the businesses that need those funds the most, the historically excluded businesses like woman-owned, Black, Indigenous, and Latinx owned. The program specifically laid out that these businesses were priority businesses to be funded. And people from these groups have been historically excluded from competing as entrepreneurs for many reasons, from capital to laws that prohibited it. These are the businesses that today are the most likely to fail, not because their business was inferior, but because they lack the access to capital. They are also the businesses that bring the most innovation to the market, and I'm glad you got to see a couple of those businesses in the video. Again, SURF is good city economics. Finally, I want to applaud the city for allowing for an incubation program, which enabled New Project to partner with the Cannabis Workers Coalition to distribute the individual grants. CWC is a startup nonprofit organization that fills a critical void in the cannabis industry as the voice for safety, equity, and fairness for workers. With new projects oversight and support, the incubation component of the SURF program provided CWC with the tools and experience from their first large-scale grant distribution and provides lifeblood to an organization that's the voice for workers, a critical component of developing a good actor cannabis industry in Portland. It's become good practice in incubating nonprofits to develop these kinds of programs that allow the smaller orgs to grow and to blossom. Those orgs are often meeting equity needs that larger orgs aren't meeting. So I'm glad for this additional innovative component of SURF. I want to close by saying, as cannabis tax revenues exceed budget office projections, as they often do, please revisit the SURF funds to ensure we can reach more people and businesses in this next distribution. With that, I'm going to turn it over to introduce Savina Monet, co-founder and executive director for the Cannabis Workers Coalition.
Next slide, please.
Thank you so much, Jeanette and Christina, and good afternoon, commissioners and council. As Jeanette stated, my name is Savina Monet, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of the Cannabis Workers Coalition. In the SURF video presented earlier, we heard Amy Margulis mention how current federal legislation has hindered business owners, but I urge council to consider the effects it has had on workers as well. As we know, cannabis employers often don't have access to stable banking, but this means many of their workers are also unable to take advantage of state-run savings programs like Oregon Saves. In addition, there are workers who tell us when they report income from a legal OLCC licensed cannabis business, they are being denied home, auto, and personal loans, or have had their bank accounts unexpectedly close. This means we have an industry of low-wage workers who are living paycheck to paycheck with little to no savings. To this day, workers are struggling to catch up on the mountain of debt they acquired in 2020. Even in the midst of the Great Resignation, workers are struggling to find employment outside of the cannabis industry because of pre-existing stigma associated with individuals who work with the plant, which, as Dashita Dawson noted, still exists to this day. 2021, or excuse me, what year are we in? 2022 SURF dollars allowed workers to seek counseling for traumatic experiences they went through while on the job, pay overdue bills, or allowed them to keep a roof over their head. For many workers in cannabis, this money is much more than a financial relief. It's a means to restore a sense of stability to the lives of those who kept our industry running on the front lines, despite the wildfire smokes, the fires themselves, the burglaries, the uncertainty of a worldwide pandemic, and the grief or trauma associated with these. Again, I want to thank the council for providing these dollars, and thank you for considering us to be renewed for the next year. With that, I will pass the mic to Amy Margulis from the initiative.
Next slide, please. Unfortunately, Amy Margulis, attorney, cannabis advocate, and founder of the initiative, who was seen in the video, is unable to join us today. But with her leading the charge, the initiative's support has been beneficial to many female-led cannabis businesses, including $350,000 of SURF funds to 23 businesses. Next slide, please. Megan Wallstetter, Executive Director of Oregon Cannabis Association, was also unable to join us today, but OCA was responsible for $300,000 in emergency funding and was able to assist 17 businesses. We appreciate their assistance with SURF and the continual support to the cannabis industry. Next slide, please. In closing, there is an ongoing need to provide emergency relief to Portland cannabis businesses. These cash-based businesses continue to experience extreme financial impacts caused by increased vandalism and a continual alarming spike in armed robberies and burglaries. Due to a lessened financial amount awarded for fiscal year 22-23, the Office of Community and Civic Life requests the full allocation of $456,901 to be awarded to New Project to administer the Cannabis Emergency Relief Funds in partnership with Cannabis Workers Coalition. Thank you all for your time and attention today. And if there are any questions or comments, I'm happy to take those now.
Next slide. So we have come to the tail end of our presentation here at Cannabis Day at Council. And before I pass it to you all for questions and comments, I just wanted to quickly thank you all for your time and attention this afternoon. Despite being considered a mature cannabis market, we're actually still at the beginning stages of this industry. We have plenty of opportunity for improving the social, economic, environmental, and human equity outcomes for both our internal and external stakeholders. We're excited to get back to our work in progress, and we're looking forward to sharing further insights in our upcoming SEED Initiatives report and our CPOT 2022 Annual Policy Report. With that being said, I'll pass the mic to Interim Director Michael Montoya if you have any other final thoughts.
For the record, my name is Michael Montoya. I serve as Interim Director for the Office of Community and Civic Life. Just want to thank the amazing work that Program Manager Dashida Dawson and Akil Patterson made today, and all the presenters, fantastic. A robust, thriving industry sector like cannabis doesn't happen by accident. What you heard today was the maturing elements of a new program in the city. You heard a presentation about the SEED grant project. You heard about the Emergency Relief Fund, and you heard about the policy recommendations, as well as some code changes. All of that all point toward our core values. We have transparency, collaboration, equity, anti-racism, communication, all cooked into that. I can't imagine a more perfect model for the core values of the city, and I thank you for your time, and we now open it up for your questions.
Colleagues, I'd like to point out that I think we also have public testimony today.
I was just going to ask that question, President Maps, if there was invited testimony here from grantees that you wanted to testify.
Keelan, do we have invited guests or anyone signed up for testimony?
I would look to staff to see if there is invited testimony. We do have some public testimony signed up as well.
There are no more invited.
There were, we did invite them as a courtesy, but, so Pat Daniels did make from Constructing Hope is here, but they did sign up.
For public
For
testimony.
public testimony.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, President. I would recommend that they at least be able to introduce themselves and maybe say a sentence or two about what they're going to do with their grants that they're getting from the program.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Is this part of invited, or do we have recipients in the room?
Yes,
or
we
is this
do. We have
invited
grant
testimony?
recipients in the room.
All right.
They all signed up for public testimony.
Okay, so why don't we, to keep it clear for Keeland and those keeping track at home, we'll do public testimony now.
Okay, sounds great. First up, for item 667, we had Hardima Croker, who is joining virtually.
Excuse me, point of order.
Yes.
Mr. President, I thought we were going to take the grant recipients who were in the audience first and then go to people who signed up for public testimony.
Okay.
Is that not what we're doing?
So then we do have Pat Daniels, who has signed up for item 667, who I believe is in person. Yes.
Excellent.
Good afternoon, Council. Commissioner Maps, Commissioner Rubio, thank you for coming out to meet us, Commissioner Hardesty, and Commissioner Ryan. Constructing Hope is elated that you provided this funding for us to start an expungement program. Constructing Hope is a pre-apprenticeship training program that targets low income, but our target population is formerly incarcerated. And those who are extremely low income, we also look at homeless situations. This funding for us is allowing people to not only begin a career, but the demand for construction right now is enormous, and we know that we have a lot of infrastructure dollars coming down. Having the opportunity to have your record expunged, 80% of the people who are in Constructing Hope are formerly incarcerated. So that also means that as they enter the employment sector of construction, it's imperative that they have a good license. So when we look at large projects, and I'm going to say projects like Nike, Intel, and a lot of the businesses coming in, they require that you not have a felony within 10 years. And I feel like it's important that if a person has served their time to work on a project that could be 5 years, 10 years, they're losing the opportunity of journeying out. And when we look at what's happening in the construction industry as far as bringing minorities and women in, this is a barrier. This is a barrier for them to complete, and we're also trying to build minority contractors. And I'm saying this because Constructing Hope over the last 15 years have 10 people that have graduated from the program, which we are 80% minority, that have also become contractors. Most recently, Commissioner Hardesty had the opportunity to meet Gary Jones, who is our latest recent contractor that's also a solar contractor. So I can't tell you how much it means for us graduating 25 people per class. We're trying to get back to those numbers, but the funding for us was not only about expungement, but it was also supporting workforce. So we thank you so much for the 2 years of funding that we're receiving now that's going to help us build out this program so that hopefully you will see more and more women and people of color not only journeying out, but also becoming contractors. I know we wanted to be brief. But the last thing I want to say is also, we wanted to be really good stewards of the funding, so I would like to just acknowledge that we have leveraged this funding with attorney Krista Shipley, who has dedicated 100% of her time as an attorney to help us work through this process. So thank you again, because we're building staff and we're building a workforce that's diverse. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Keelan, do we have any other public testimony on 667?
We do. Hardima Croker is online.
Hello, everyone. This is Jardima. It's wonderful to see you all, Commissioners Mapps, Rubio, Ryan, and Hardesty, as well as Cannabis Program Manager Dashida Dawson. I am the Executive Director of Oregon Expungement Relief Project. We use the acronym ORP. ORP is proud to be a Black women-led social justice organization providing free criminal record expungement in the state of Oregon. Due to disparate impacts in the criminal justice system affecting people of color, ORP was formed to provide equity-centered, free legal services to primarily Black, Brown, Indigenous, and low-income communities who face economic barriers affording criminal record expungement. One of the areas we focus our legal resources on is cannabis charges. Having a criminal record creates harmful barriers for people seeking employment and housing as well. After the legalization of cannabis in July 2015, unfortunately, past charges were not automatically expunged by the state of Oregon. We have worked closely with our community partner, Cameron Witten with Brown Hope, to locate clients in the demographics we serve. Over the last year, we filed over 250 motions to expunge almost 500 criminal charges for our clients with the help of our legal partner at Emerge Law Group and the direct support of the Social Equity and Educational Development Grant through the Office of Community and Civic Life's Cannabis Program. We have again provided us, they have provided us the wings to continue this social justice labor on behalf of the citizens of Oregon. We thank Commissioner Hardesty for creating the foundation for this incredibly important community reinvestment mechanism, and Dashida Dawson for her vision and labor that brings us together today. Thank you as well to Akil Patterson for explaining the selection process. We are deeply honored to be a second-year grantee. From myself and my business partner, Brenda Morgan, we thank you.
Thank you. Keelan, do we have any other testimony on the items before us right now?
We have 2 people signed up for 668.
Great, thank you. Let's proceed. Welcome, Travis.
First up, Travis Moore.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Travis.
Hi, Travis Maurer, community member. Thanks to everybody for allowing me to speak today. I am the chair of CPOT, just recently voted. I'm excited to take that on. I want to thank everybody in the cannabis program. The work that they've done is insane. The change that they've made in the last few years is, I think, heroic. And I think our leader and supervisor, Deshita Dawson, is the best in the country, and Portland is very lucky to have her. So I wanted to speak today on Amendment 668, although after sitting here, I find myself wanting to talk about everything. And the first thing I would like to do is remind everybody that in 2014, over 800,000 Oregonians voted to legalize cannabis based on a message that highlighted the plight of Black and brown people and the fight that they have undergone. And to that regard, I wanted to comment on Akil Patterson's comment about the last 80 years of a drug war, and just remind everybody that the last 80 years has been horrific, but however, that is a continuation of the last 400 years. So this is just another battle and a war that these communities have fought. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind when we think about restorative and reparative justice, because it's not just about cannabis.
Keelan, what do we do in this situation?
Usually we give it just a minute to see if they're able to reconnect, but then we can go.
And the Cannabis Workers Coalition, our leaders specifically in this area of social equity, and have helped countless members in the BIPOC community. New projects, programs increase success for outcomes for cannabis entrepreneurs and professionals of color. Their work addresses the three most prevalent equity hurdles: capital, education, and connection. And they provide funding for cannabis businesses, knowledge building for entrepreneurs and professionals, and a mentoring network and jobs board to make opening connections. And that light, I just wanted to say that if and when, as soon as we know that tax revenue is going to exceed the projections, we absolutely need to move quickly and fund these organizations to the largest extent possible. This is what over 800,000 Oregonians legalized marijuana for in 2014. And supporting these organizations, these people, is what the intent was. And that's really what I have to say. Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty, for this amendment recommendation. It's amazing to be in the community with you and everybody here. Thanks for all of your work, and thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, Travis. Keelan, do we have any more testimony on the items before us today?
We have one more person signed up, David Fuge.
Hi, good afternoon, Portland City Council. You nailed my name, by the way. Thank you very much. My name is David Fuge. I am the owner and I'm the original driver also at Rip City Delivery. We are a women-owned delivery service located in Multnomah Village. We are a retail courier made possible by that 2016 amendment that Nathaniel Werner referenced earlier. And we are also a SURF grant recipient through the initiative. So I just wanted to speak about my experience briefly. The Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund actually came just in time. We didn't realize it at the time, but the funds truly came at a crucial time. They were a life preserver in a storm for us. It's currently the most difficult retail environment we've seen since we opened up in 2017. Cannabis prices are plummeting. And while that might sound good, it actually affects our revenues. We'll sell the same amount, but we'll make quite a bit less. And at the same time, costs of everything else are going up. You know, we're a delivery service, so gas costs are going up, but also employee wage costs are going up. And we're very grateful for SURF. I don't think we'd be in business, frankly, right now without the $25,000 funds that we got. They helped us pay rent, utilities, manage our website in a much more effective way, and also employee wages. So I think programs such as this are a fantastic and cost-effective tool to help support small businesses such as us. It's really the most competitive retail environment in the whole country in Portland, I think. If funds are available, I strongly encourage the City Council to continue to pursue such initiatives as the Cannabis Emergency Relief Fund. It turned out to be crucial for our survival. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Keelan, do we have any more testimony on the items before us today?
That completes testimony.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, do you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share at this point? No? Hearing no questions or comments, these are emergency ordinances. Keelan, please call the roll.
Sorry.
Which, what are we voting on? Which item? 666, we have 3 items before us. I presume that we vote on each of these separately, or do we do it as a package?
One at a time.
Okay, great. Keelan, could you please call the roll on 666?
Yes, thank you. Hardesty.
First, thank you for the wonderful testimony today. I will say that I agree with the public testimony that we have the very best administrator for our cannabis program in the country. And every single time Deshita comes in front of us, I am more in awe of the excellent work that she does. She has absolutely been a trailblazer for us. And over the last year, we can see the systems being developed that will make sure we continue to track and monitor and support the most vulnerable people in our community and being restored based on a restorative justice model that requires the people most harmed by previous cannabis policy benefit from the taxes that are flowing in the community. And so all of these items are connected. Let me just also say, we were the first in the nation that provided emergency funds for cannabis operations at the height of COVID, prior to the massive burglarization and intimidation and robberies that have taken place. And we also stepped up again when it became a reality that safety was a primary issue around having a cannabis business during that time. And I will say over and over again, we have risen to the occasion. We've invested dollars wisely, as we heard from Constructing Hope. I almost said the name wrong, from Constructing Hope, and some of the other grantees that will receive these funds. Interim Director Michael Matoya, I really appreciate your leadership. I greatly appreciate, and I'm so sorry, our new community grants gentleman from Baltimore is from my hometown. I just forgot his name. It just went out of my head. But we're fortunate to have you actually helping us with this grant program. And so I'm going to vote aye, and then I'm not going to say anything else except aye for the other 2.
Rubio.
I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty and also Director Montoya and Deshita, Akil, and the cannabis program team for all the work that you've done to put into the systems development, the framework, and the program, as well as operationalizing. It's very clear that a lot of program development had to be built into this program. I want to commend you for the equity and the responsiveness also that's clearly built into the design of the program. It's also really clear that restorative justice lens is very, very much applied at every level and phase, and it really truly does embody the program's original intent. So that's really great to see throughout every component of the program that you presented today. And the community education engagement is also really evident as well. So I want to also commend you on that. So what I'm saying is all of these are very impressive trends and impressive work. And I really want to appreciate the leadership and the time that it took to get here today. So thank you so much for this great work. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. A little long, but it was really good. I want to say your leadership is really noticeable. And I mean, it's the first time I met you live, but I was impressed with the building. I could see that you had a vision and that you were building a team and you were connecting the dots. And this is a city that needs to build right now. We are in a place where we need to promote entrepreneurism, and there's a fact that I think doesn't get discussed enough, and that is that our number one cash crop for decades has been cannabis. And we've been leaving money on the table in the great state of Oregon for far too long. And so it's important that we get this right. And so the opportunity to build with a restorative justice lens is inspiring. And I just want to thank you for the way that you're being creative in your investments to leverage. You can feel that multiplier effect And yeah, the Constructing Hope presentation really, I thought, brought that home and connected the dots on the restorative side, but then hearing how we're building generational wealth. And that's when we're really doing equity work. This isn't about today, this is about building for the future. And so that's what I was inspired by today. I find it just fascinating that I think it's 37 states now have medical or medicinal as it's recreational, and yet for some reason, Congress and the Senate has not figured out how to move this from cash to banking. And I didn't hear enough in some of the testimony when it came to the crime that's being presented, because if you have a store that has a lot of cash, you're quite vulnerable. And so I think it's so important that our delegation continues to press on this and that our Government Affairs Office works with our delegation to be leaders to pass this in Washington. I actually think it's one of those situations where both sides of the aisle just might come together. You got to have hope, right? That can happen with something that has common sense. Anyway, I'm delighted that I was able to listen to all of that, and I'm looking forward to more. I actually would like to go on a couple site visits and hear, especially with Constructing Hope. Anyway, I will not talk on the other two, so I think we're all kind of being efficient with our time here. And so those are my remarks on all three, but I will vote aye on all three, but starting with this one, aye.
Maps.
I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for bringing this item forward. I also want to thank staff and the public for the testimony and presentations that we saw today. I also want to just also congratulate the cannabis program. You folks have been national leaders in figuring out how to make this a legal industry which it thrives, and I don't think anyone in the nation has done better than you have so far. And based on the quality of the presentation we saw today, you can see where that comes from. I also want to echo Commissioner Ryan's call for Congress to figure out how to allow members of the cannabis industry to take advantage of banking services. It's ridiculous and dangerous that we are doing this all through cash. I hope to see that change coming up in the next congressional session. It's way past time that we move forward on that. Having said all that, I am glad to vote aye, and I will be voting aye in the other items too.
And you want to say the item now?
Yes, so the 666 is accepted. Keelan, can you read the, or can we call the roll for 667?
Hardesty.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Mapp.
Aye. 667 passes. Keelan, can you call the roll for 668?
Hardesty.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Mapp.
Aye, 668 passes. Colleagues, next I would like to go to, how about the consent agenda? Keelan, has anything been called or pulled off the consent agenda?
Nothing has been called.
Please call the roll.
Hardesty.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Mapp.
Aye. The consent agenda passes. Colleagues, next we will go to the regular agenda. Keelan, can you please read 673?
Amend contract with Central City Concern to increase amount by $2,646,474 to provide additional campsite impact reduction services.
Great. Colleagues, now I will turn the floor over to Lucas Hillier, the program manager for the City of Portland's Homeless and Urban Camping Impact Reduction Program. Lucas, welcome.
Excuse me, President Maps.
Yeah.
Point of order, please.
Sure.
I pulled this off consent because I had some very specific questions. I'm not in need of a full presentation.
Okay, I did not realize that.
So if it pleases you, I'd like to just ask Lucas a couple of questions on the record, and we can move on.
Absolutely. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Lucas. It's great to pass you on the street today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So I was a little concerned. I'd asked questions about this contract, and I got different information from different people. And am I to understand? So let me just ask you what my questions are. My questions are, this is a contract. Is this contract with you, or is this a contract with Central City Concern?
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. For the record, my name is Lucas Hillier, and I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to you guys. This is a contract that I will be managing on behalf of the City of Portland with Central City Concern. They will be the service provider of the Clean Start program that we manage over in OMF.
Thank you. So am I understanding that the city is buying vehicles and other things for a temporary cleanup job?
That is incorrect. So what we're paying for are FTEs, administrative support and services, and supplies when needed, trash bags and stuff like that. The leases for the vehicles are held and owned by Central City Concern. So what we are purchasing is the person power, if you will, to go out and do this work.
And my very last question is, and so what this means is that this is one more year of additional cleanup work based on the investments we've made in the downtown central city area. Is that an accurate statement, or is that all over the city?
It's citywide. So in the regular budget process last year, we were given an ongoing allocation to effectively double the size of our Clean Start fleet. Prior to last year, we had 7 two-person crews. We folded in the day storage service, so that's 5 FTEs who keep day storage open 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's underneath the steel bridge. And then we added, just under doubled our number of crews out there. I have some stats. Can I brag for a second?
Oh, please! If you got something to brag about, we need that on the public record, please.
Thank you. Real quick, last year they removed over 4 million, almost 4.5 million pounds of garbage between these crews. They were able to remove almost 150,000 needles from the community. And then they closed 17,000 work orders throughout the year that are generated when people submit campsite reports. So they're, our first line of intervention. They go out, they talk to folks, pick up garbage, get us objective data back by which we can determine if we need to institute another intervention level. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful partnership. As you and I have talked about in the past, my job is challenging. And this is, one of the things that I get to do and I've helped build in my time here that I really feel good about.
Well, all my questions have been answered. Thank you, Lucas, for making yourself available today. And thank you, Mr. President. Ma'am, not used to Mr. President.
Yeah.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy as
Madam
Madam
President.
President.
At all.
But anyway, my questions are answered, and I'm happy. I'm ready to vote.
Okay, great. Keelan, do we have any public testimony on this?
Yeah, we have one person signed up, Thomas Bussey.
Welcome, Thomas.
Hello, my name is Tom Bussey. For identification purposes only, I am the acting treasurer of the Multnomah County Libertarian Party. I'm a Portland resident, a former licensed fraud investigator, a forensic accountant, and expert witness. 2 weeks ago, I also asked this item to be severed from the consent agenda. It raised several red flags for me in the context of my own external review of Central City Concern's tax return and audited financials. The city has lacked transparency regarding the $1.4 million embezzlement related to this entity. And I say embezzlement because in my professional experience, and based upon the limited information released, it was a probable inside job. If the commissioners are serious about investigating this crime, they would issue a legislative subpoena ducis tecum asking for the entity's records and computer servers, including that of its unaudited Section 8 tax credit LLC equity partners. The city would be wise to commission an external forensic
Excuse
audit.
me, a point of order, Mr. President. I don't know if this is appropriate. There are allegations being made against a community-based organization. I have no factual information about it. So this is not to the issue that we're voting on.
It will soon be.
I'll defer to the city attorney for advice here or guidance here.
If he's speaking to the item, which he's indicating that he intends to, then we should allow him to speak. And then if he ends up continuing his discussion that's not related to the item, then we can end it.
Thomas, can we make sure that you focus your comments on the item before us today?
Yes.
Thank
As
you.
I said, I was making foundational comments.
Okay.
I note that this proposal changes the payment terms from 30 days to 15 days. This is exactly what you don't want to do with a vendor implicated in fraud. You need additional time to review the invoices. The homeless camp cleanup service envisions the addition of 6 trucks, but there's no allocation for the vehicle operation expense. And I recall there was some problem with this entity's vehicle fleet when they were forced to close their sobering station for unsanitary conditions. I also know a very careful reading of the draft contractual language allows Central City to bill entirely for program expenses. In other words, there is no obligation in the contract as written on this specific item to deliver the precise services described. The contract doubles the allocation over the previous year, but there is no provision or formal process for program review. Also, the ordinance fails to mention another part of the program that they have been doing. Their remediators in the process of cleaning homeless camps target homeless drug users for opt-out hepatitis C screening. This is funded by pharma giant Gilead Sciences as part of the program, which is completely unmonitored and unaudited by the city. I fear this nonprofit's eagerness to interface with homeless camps arises from motivations related to a program called 430B. It is the cash cow in their business model. In short, finding new hepatitis C program cases by interfacing with homeless nets a profit of $8.5 million in unnecessary drug sales charged to the taxpayer. This is $20,000 per person, enough to house people, of which 585 people were lost to follow-up. Where did this $8.5 million go? I suspect pay to play. That's it.
Thank you, Thomas. Keelan, do we have any other testimony on this
That
item?
completes testimony.
Colleagues, do you have any questions or comments on this item? Keelan, could you please call the roll?
Hardesty.
Lucas, I remember we were, in the good old days before COVID, we were going to sit down and talk about your contract and how we could make it more accessible to more community-based service providers. And then COVID hit, and we've been in crisis mode ever since. So this is just an additional allocation to do work that we've already committed to and we already budgeted for when we did the regular budget process. I am hopeful that we will not be in crisis mode as we move into next budget cycle and we can have a more intentional conversation about whether or not the model we're using actually is giving us the outcomes that we want. But Lucas, I want to always say thank you. You have the hardest job in the city of Portland, and no one is ever happy with the outcomes of your work. And so I just want to publicly say that I think you do an excellent job of balancing what you hear from the community. And I am grateful that you serve all the community and not just the community that has money. I vote aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank you, Lucas, again as well for the work that you and your program do. You've had quite a year, actually 2 years, and you, despite everything that's happening in the environment, you've been incredibly responsive to everything this council has asked. So I want to appreciate you for that, and you handle us all with grace. So thank you for that too. And I also am really glad we're continuing to partner with Central City Concern here. And thanks again for your work to bring this forward and for sharing more information today. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you, Lucas Hillier, for leading this effort. The Impact Reduction Services Program, I think we were bragging a little bit ago about one of our innovative leading programs, and I think the way you do this with your heart, leading with your heart, makes this one of the better programs as well nationally. It's not always done with the finesse in which you pull it off, and I agree with Commissioner Hardesty that you often have people upset from both extreme perspectives, if you will. And I just want you to know how much you're appreciated. And I also think it's great to acknowledge that this includes 13 FTE cleaners who will be part of the ASFE union, ASFCME union. We really need to treat our public servants who do this critical work with respect and acknowledge how challenging these jobs can be. And I fully support the inclusion of unionized positions in this work. I'm delighted to vote aye.
Maps.
I want to underscore the praise my colleagues have shared and showered on Lucas. You do incredibly difficult work with grace and innovation. I want you to know I appreciate you, and the city of Portland appreciates you too. I vote aye. Item 673 passes.
Can I just
Sure, yeah, of course.
deflect a little bit? Thank you for your all's vote, and I appreciate the praise. And last time I was up here and you guys did the same thing, I said thank you and walked away, but it's really, I'm only as good as my team. And I really want to thank Katie and Corinne and Sharon for all the work that they do to help make this work the right way.
Thank you, Lucas. Item 673 passes. Next up, we have 674. Keelan, can you please read the title for that item?
Authorized grant agreement with Black United Fund of Oregon, Inc. for grants to address the root causes of community violence not to exceed $250,000.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, President Maps. I would like to make a motion to, I'd like to make a motion to replace, let me stop for a sec, hold on for a sec. I'd like to replace the ordinance with this language. I am proposing an amendment that says that we are substituting the language for the $750K for grant makers. Or actually, I'm just going to make a motion to actually add $750K for grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington to the proposal that's in front of us. So that is a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. And Keelan would, right, the lawyers are
let's hear from the city attorney here.
So just to clarify, I believe a substitute ordinance was posted on the agenda, and so what you're moving is for your substitute ordinance. It's not different than what's already been posted. Is that correct?
Thank you, yes. That apparently is correct, yes.
Yeah, so just a move to substitute the ordinance as posted on the agenda.
Excellent. And so that's what I moved, to substitute the ordinance that's been posted.
I will second that.
Excellent. There's been a second, and I assume we need to vote on that first before we have a conversation.
Commissioner Ryan, did you have a question for me, or?
No.
Oh, okay. You were just, I wanted to make sure I was making sense. Okay, sorry. All right.
Why don't we vote on this and then we can unpack what we just did? Yeah.
Hardesty.
Keelan, please call the roll on the motion.
Hardesty.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye. The motion passes.
To the ordinance itself.
Now to the ordinance itself. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, President Maps. See, it only took me 4 or 5 times
There
to
you go.
let that roll off the tongue. Today, I'm excited that we'll be voting to appropriate $1 million that this council set aside during our annual budget process to help address the violence we continue to see in neighborhoods across Portland. These dollars are going to community foundations and that will lead to grant processes that get this funding into community-based organizations working directly on the root causes of community violence in an expedited manner. As we deploy a diversity of strategies as a city that aims to mitigate and interrupt violence in the short term, we must also remain focused on addressing the root causes that lead to violence by making investments that prevent some of these violent situations from ever occurring. This legislation authorizes grants in the amount of $750,000 to the grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington, and $250,000 to the Black United Fund of Oregon Incorporated for this purpose. The grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington strive to create a society in which all people can participate, prosper, and reach their full potential. They seek to learn about systemic barriers to individual success and community prosperity and support the elimination of such barriers to ensure that everyone has a equitable access to the resources they need to thrive. The Black United Fund of Oregon assists in the social and economic development of Oregon's underserved communities and contributes to a broader understanding of ethnic and culturally diverse groups. I have always been a strong believer that our best solutions as a city come from the communities most impacted by the challenges we face. Both the grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington and the Black United Fund of Oregon are foundations that are community-driven with deep relationships and connections that will help us get this innovation moving. My hope is that we will have these dollars distributed to community-based organizations within 45 days of the city authorizing these grants, which, let me say, is not something the city of Portland can do. So what these grants look like and like when they are utilized, the Black United Fund would specifically direct funding to establish programs or promising models that they're already funding, particularly for those youth aged 14 to 24. The items that will be prioritized will be economic justice and career, workforce and entrepreneurship opportunities, shame reduction, conflict resolution, and behavioral-based interventions, community and individual wellness, healing and self-preservation, mentorship and building positive adult and peer relationships, environmental justice and opportunities for youth to engage with the natural environment, creative arts and artistic expression, school, college, and/or vocational readiness. The grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington will work within its network of foundations, funders, and nonprofit leaders to identify funding needs associated with nonprofit partners working within the areas of, but not limited to, social, economic, and environmental disparities, financial literacy, self-sufficiency, altruism and community building, shame reduction, conflict resolution, and behavior science, restorative meditation and healing practices, mentorship, life coaching, positive role model and advocacy programs, entertainment, sports, arts, and culture. It will take time for these investments to have an impact, but if we are able to distribute this money to communities in need as fast as possible, we hope that we can have a significantly bolster the long-term strategies about proactively preventing the violence that is causing so much harm throughout the city. And we have asked both the grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington, as well as the Black United Fund, to submit written testimony because we knew we had to move this agenda around. And so that concludes my opening comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Keelan, do we have any public testimony on this?
No one signed up.
Colleagues, do you have any questions or comments on this item?
I can see his brain working.
Well, Commissioner Ryan, I think I can anticipate the question that you're asking, or that you'd like to ask or trying to articulate. What was that motion that we just passed? And I think, and I'll allow Commissioner Hardesty to fill this in. But when I compare the ordinance before us today to the ordinance that was released a week ago, the difference seems to be that a week ago we just had $250,000 to the Black United Fund, and today I think with the motion, we have amended that so that we include the grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington, and I think allocate $750,000 to that group. Commissioner Hardesty, is that correct?
That is absolutely accurate, yes.
Commissioner Ryan, did we get to?
What you were
they're
thinking?
thinking?
No, I actually had information on that, so I think I already knew that we were going to have the substitute.
then-
But it's okay. I enjoyed hearing all of that process. I'm disappointed there's no one here to ask questions to from
Well, and
Black United Fund.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed as well, but that's why they are the grant recipients, because they're out there actually doing the work right now, and it's time, right? And let me just say that I did ask them to submit written testimony, and they will. But I want to bring us back to why we were doing this. As you know, what we wanted to do is we have many places that we're investing resources for a gun violence reduction. And it's good that we have different places that we can invest the resources and get the evaluation and the data back. What I knew with the $1 million that I requested in the budget was that if we were going to have any impact this summer, which, when you at the end of July are talking about summer programs, you're like way, way, way behind the curve. Yeah. I knew the only way to have an impact this summer was to talk to foundations who already had the relationship with the nonprofits that they would be investing these funds in. As you know, most foundations never have enough money to fund the things they really want to fund, so most nonprofits never get everything they ask for, right? And so the reason why the amendment came very late is we were still negotiating with grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington just to make sure that they could deliver on what it was we wanted to see delivered in a timely manner. And that's part of the reason why they're not here today, because it did go up to the last wire to try to make that happen.
Okay.
But I am pleased with the outcome that we have, and that we've got the right foundations. And I'm excited about, as we get ready for the next budget process, that we will have a variety of things to consider about how we get money directly into the hands of community-based organizations who are doing the real incredible work on the ground.
Thank you for that clarification, Commissioner Hardesty. Does anyone else on the council have questions? Commissioner Rubio.
So, can you explain a little bit? So the Black United Fund and the grant makers, which I know both of the organizations very well. So are they going to be serving the same function? Like they're both grant making, or are they going to be having different functions?
They will serve the same function, but they will serve a different population.
So they'll just be re-granting?
Yeah. And they will be doing the reporting back to us about where those dollars were invested and what the outcomes of those investments are. Make sense?
Commissioner Ryan, do you have a question?
Yeah, when will we get that information? When will they come back?
Well, next year.
Okay, all right.
In time to inform us, I believe, at our, as we're starting to talk about the budget for next year and where we're going to make investments.
And I think when I know about Oregon and Southwest Washington grant makers, I never think of them as a grantee as much as a convener.
Right.
Mhm.
And so that's why I appreciate your question, Commissioner
that
Rubio.
was my,
Yeah.
And you're right, because they're not. And in fact, they're doing this, they're helping us rather than, but because they have the network.
Okay,
right?
got it.
Colleagues, any further questions or comments? Okay, this is an emergency ordinance. Keelan, please call the roll.
Hardesty,
I want to thank grant makers of Oregon and Southwest Washington and the Black United Fund of Oregon for agreeing to get these funds into the hands of community members serving people who are being impacted by the gun violence in our community. And I look forward to seeing what comes back based on the categories and the demographic age groups that they will be working with. And I'm very optimistic that this will inform how we actually invest dollars as we move forward into community-based efforts to ensure we're getting the best outcomes. I vote aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for her focus on the topic of prevention and preventing gun violence. We're right now, as we're making decisions about investments, I'm glad to see that they're two trusted entities that we're working with here, and look forward to hearing their update. I vote aye.
Ryan?
Yeah, I want to start off by also acknowledging Commissioner Hardesty's leadership in bringing together two organizations that have different skill sets to work in partnership. And it's all about building trust, really, between the city and these communities. And it's community-led, it's grassroots. I look forward to the details and having some presenters come. In the last presentation, when Constructing Hope came up, it really brought it together. So I look forward to that type of a dialogue. Anyway, I'm really excited about this partnership, and I vote aye.
Maps?
I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for bringing this item forward. I vote aye. Item 674 passes. Keelan, I believe that completes our business for today.
It does.
Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.